we
This
discussed?
conference will now be recorded.
What is the last concept we discussed? Hmm?
Date and time.
Hmm. Date and time in formats. In that, first of all, we have covered how many types of date styles are there. I have shown all the types of date styles, right? ISO 8601 format, YYMM, DD, DDMM, YY 8.10. We already have covered all these types of date styles, right? Agree, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now going to next one. Any DT dot I did not cover for you, correct? Okay. So now this first example I remember I covered, second example I covered, third example I covered, fourth example with any DT dot I did not cover. Correct? Or this is also covered? No, right? Any DT
No,
dot
sir.
did I give an example? No, right?
No, sir.
Fine. So now you can see here in format 7C. So if you wanted to read date values in SAS, you can use, depending upon your date style, you can use DDMMYY or date 9 dot, date 7 dot, or MMDDYY. So you can use particular date formats. Apart from this, if you wanted to, if you are facing difficulties to keep these many date styles in your mind, then we have one common informat called NEDT dot. This NEDT dot will be able to read data in any style, which is present in any style. Suppose to say if you run the program NEDT dot, what it will do, it will convert your, what it will do is it will convert your date value to a number. Okay, so you see, right, if you just run the program, go to libraries, go to work, in format 7C, you see a number. What is this number? What is this number?
The days between SAS formed date to till now, I guess.
What is the date value?
January 1st, 1962.
Right. With the system date value, whatever we wanted to read. So it reads total number of days from 1st Jan 1962, your date value, whatever you wanted to read. Okay, right. So this is how it will read your values, date values. So any DT dot, normally we use date 9 dot style to read these date values, but still we were able to read these date values using any DT dot. So if you wanted to see, then I can use my format statement and you can see. So in format statement, I cannot use any DT dot. So format, you have to specify any one style. I cannot use any DT dot in format statement. Right. So you see here, this is how it reads your date values. Next one. So this is how it is. I have two date styles here, two different date styles here. So actually, if you wanted to read this date, we have to use date 9 dot style. And if you wanted to read this, we have to use MMDDYY 10 dot style. Okay, we have to use mmdd $10 style. Okay, right. So now if you wanted to read these date styles, okay, if you wanted to read these date styles, so we can use this particular date style or we can use any DT dot. Okay, right. So now you see in format 8. So now you see in format, see date 9 dot. So if you wanted to read 10 Feb 1983, so we have to use a date style called date 9 dot. And here you see, first of all, you have month, date and year. So DD 10 dot. So whenever you are reading two consecutive dates side by side, your second date value, so please give this colon. Otherwise, there is a chance your system will read it as a missing. So you have to give compulsory this column for second date value. So if you just run the program here, you see 10 Feb 83, 12/1/2011. So you see, right, all the values it will read properly. There are no warnings, errors, notes. Okay, right. So now if you wanted to present them in dates, you see, right, format DOB DOJ. If you wanted to present both the dates in same style, I can also do it. You see, right, I have written same format. So whatever the format I have written here, this format will apply for both the variables. So in format 8. So your raw data has two different styles, but still in output data set you have same style date. You notice this, right? You see this, right? Fine.
Yes, sir.
So now this is how it is. Right. Next, suppose to say if you wanted to handle this with any dt dot, you can also handle it. You see, this is your any dt dot. Right now, your in format is any dt 9 dot, any dt 10 dot. So if you run the program, you see log window, it is fine. And you see, right, first one is December, right? It is month. 1st December 2011, you should see. 10th Feb 1983, you should see. So you see, right? February 1983, 10 Feb 83. And the second one, you see here it is taking 12 as 1 and it is taking 01 as date, correct, and it is taking 2011. So here your system is taking 12 as day value, 01 as month value. So it depends upon your settings, the system settings you'll have. So you have a proc options is equal to any dt. So in few systems it will automatically take mmdd 10 dot. In few systems it will take dd mmy 10 dot. Any dt. This option is not there. So date style, you see, right, dmy is there. You see, right, date style equal to dmy. Means it will first take day, month and year. So the reason you see, right, first of all it is taking as day, month and year. Okay, is that clear? In few systems it will be mdy. So date style equal to MDY. First it will take M as month, after that D as date and Y as year, MDY. In few systems it will take like that. So it depends upon your system settings. Okay, right. Suppose to say, tuck, tuck, tuck. So if you wanted to consider 12 as month, options date style equal to MDY. You see it, right? It is taking first December 2011 now. Got my point?
Yes,
You got
sir.
my point? So that is how it works. So in few systems it is date style is MDY. In few systems date style will be DMY. Okay, right. So this point you have to make a note. So you see, right, any dt dot. In general, it takes mmddy 10 dot. Okay, right. So if your data is in dd mm 10 dot, what you have to do? If your data is in dd mm 10 dot, what you have to do? You have to write a code proc options date star equal to mdy. So it will take month, day, and year. So if you want first value to consider as date, month, year, so you have to write proc options date style is equal to dmy. Is that clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is that clear to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So proc options option is equal to date style. You have to see. So you have to check with this style. So if you run it here, you see it will show only this particular option MDY. Right now I have given MDY, right? So it is taking MDY. You see it, right? Right. Next. So default in this system it is taking DMY, date, month, year. So I modified it to MDY. So after that it is taking 12 as month, 1 as date, and 2011 as year. Okay, right. So this is how you have to understand and do it. Next. So whenever we are using this NEDT dot, you have to carefully check this. Right. Next. In format 8A. Okay, in format 8A. So if you see here, this is also one kind of date style. Same DD MMYY 10 dot. This is date, month, and year. So if you want to clearly specify it is date, month, year, you write DD MMYY 8 dot. This is also same example. So writing in a separate in format statement. Okay, so in format 8B, you can see if you wanted to write these values in a separate statement, in format statement, you can do it. So you can see here in format DOB, date 9 dot, DOJ, DD MMYY 10 dot, DD MMYY 10 dot. Okay, so what happens is it will read first DD as date, month, YY year. Okay, right. So that is how it will work. Right. So I just run the program here. Eight p. You can see it, right? So if you want all to be present in a numbers, sorry, if you wanted to see your system original date, if you run the program, You see, right? All these are good, yes or no? This is all good, yes or no? Right. Now you can see here. Okay. Is this clear to everyone, right? So ISO 8601 style. We know this IS 8601 DS style. What is IS 8601 DS style? What is IS 8601 DS style? We already covered. We already covered this. YYMMDD is your ISO 8601 date style. Okay, right. So now if you see here in format 8C, so IS 8601DI is nothing but date style. So what happens? It will show your date in 1959-12-31, 2011-01-12. That is how it will show your date value. See. Clear? Everyone is clear? Everyone is
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Right. So this is how it works. Next. So date time, if you wanted to read the date and time, you can do that. So in format 9, you can see, right? If you wanted to read date and time, you can do that. So for that, you have to use a in format called date time dot. For that, we have to use a in format called date time dot in format 9. 7293402115. So it is looking like a mobile number, right? It is looking like a mobile number, right?
Yes,
Hmm?
sir.
Right. So whenever you wanted to read date time values, okay. So Sas, what it will do, it will count total number of seconds from 1st Jan 1960 midnight 12 a.m. onwards. It counts total number of seconds from 1st Jan 1960 midnight 12 a.m. onwards. Okay, right. That is how it is. Next. So if you wanted to see exact, date time values, I have to use format statement. So FMT9, you see format 10 Feb 83, 10 hours, 30 minutes, 15 seconds. 10 hours, 30 minutes, 15 seconds. Clear to everyone, yes or no? Clear to everyone, yes or no? Right. Next. So format DOB date time dot. Format DOB IS 8601 DT. So if you wanted to present this date time in standards of ISO standards. So ISO standards are, you will have first year hyphen month hyphen day concatenated with T. You will see T. After that, you will see hours, minutes, seconds. This is your ISO 8601 date time style. Okay, if you run the program, if you wanted to see that, I have to use IS 8601 dt. Earlier it was da, now it is dt, date time. Da is date. You see how the date values are there here? You see it, right? Clear to everyone, yes or no? Clear to everyone, yes or no? Right. So this is how it is. Okay. Right. Next. Next one, time. If you wanted to read the time values. So whenever you wanted to read time values, SAS by default, it will count total number of seconds from midnight 12 a.m. onwards. On that particular day, it will count the total number of seconds from midnight 12 a.m. onwards. Is that clear? Right. So now, if you just run the program, so in format 9b, you can see. Okay, it is showing total number of seconds from that particular day, midnight 12 a.m. onwards. So 37,815 seconds is the time. So if you wanted to see this time value properly in SAS, again we have to use format statement. Okay, so format statement will give the right values in format 9b. 10 hours, 30 minutes and 15 seconds. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. Okay, fine. So this is all about your date and time informats. So date and time informats we are done. Actually, informat, format are separate concepts, but I covered for you in one go. You can see these are all your formats, informats. So we have covered all these date styles, yes or no? You can cross check. We have covered all these date styles, yes or no? Covered, right? So we have covered all these date styles.
Yes, sir.
Next. Tuck, tuck, tuck. User defined formats. If you wanted to create your own formats, informats, you can do it. If you wanted to create your own formats, informats, you can do it. So now you can see here data FMT9A. Data FMT9A. You see, right? So this is my data set. This is important. I want everyone to focus. So here, wherever you have Wherever you have M, I want to display it as MALE male. Wherever it is F, I wanted to display it as FEMALE female. Wherever it is M, male, wherever it is F, female. This can be done in multiple ways. Okay, for example, if I ask a fresher to do, he will use some if-then statements he will do. For example, data DS, set FMT 9A. If sex is equal to M, then sex is equal to MALE male. Else, if not, right, sex is equal to FEMALE female. So if you run the program here, you can see. I did not run first code, right? So it is showing us that. So you see, right, DS, wherever you have male, you got, wherever it is M, you got male, wherever it is F, you got female. Correct. So you see, right, M, male, F, female. Male, female, female, male, female. So MF, F, MF. So you see MF, F, MF. But if you see DS, M, F, F, MF. You see, right, male, female, female, male, female. So this is how we were able to do it. But now, so how many times you're supposed to say here you have two categories, here you have written two times, if then statement, if then else. So if I have 10 categories, I have to write 10 times if then statement every time, right? Whenever you are reading that variable, every time I have to write 10 times if then statement, correct? So in
Yes,
order
sir.
to overcome that, what we can do is we can create format. Proc format value, I will write gen. Okay, $gen. So in place of M, I wanted to display as MALE male. In place of F, I wanted to display as female. You can write run statement, you can write quit. It is your choice. So if you run the program here, you see formats catalog created. Okay. So next time, once you have created this formats catalog, next time data DS1 set FMT9A format sex $gen dot run. If I run this program, what happens, you know, it will display M as male, F as female. Even though you have 10 conditions, you will write the 10 conditions one time here. Next, from then onwards, format statement is one single statement, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is how we can create user-defined formats. This is how we can create user-defined formats. You should write simple code, correct? Proc format value gen equal. You're writing a value, after that format name and which one, how to display. M to be displayed as male, F to be displayed as female. So is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? This is how we create a user-defined format. So this format you can use in data step, you can use in proc step. Whereas if then statement we cannot use in proc step. Okay, right. So now this NodeWD is not required. This is 9.2 version, but 9.4 it is not required. So now you can see proc format, sorry, proc report, data equal to FMT9A. So FMT9A, if you remember, I have only M and F. The data is having only M and F. And the column, what all the columns I wanted to print? I wanted to print employee ID, name, age, sex, style, date of birth. Define sex slash display. I have to display after applying the format $gen dot. Okay, so if you run the program, you see in place of variable sex, you see all the values as male, male, female, female. You see it right? You see it right? In place of variable sex, you see male, male, female, female. Correct? So if you
Yes,
want,
sir.
you can write some options also here. Headline, head skip also you can do. You see now it is clear, right? Earlier you felt it is bit clumsy. Here it is bit clumsy, right? But here you see it is good, right? You got a line separation, you got one gap, one line space. Is that fine? Now it is looking good, right? So this is all we can do. So if you don't want head skip, you can remove that line. So you see, right? You just have a hyphen, a line between. You don't have that space before David. Earlier we had a space. Headline, head skip. Okay, fine. So now you understood this proc format, yes or no? Once we have created a format statement, so you can use this in procedures as well as data step part. Proc step, data step, both the places we can use. Next, length statement. So this user defined formats are clear to everyone, right? User defined formats are clear to everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, length statement specifies the number of bytes. Specifies the number of bytes for storing variable values. So we can assign length for variables. Specifies the number of bytes for storing variable values. We can specify so length for variables. Normally, if you wanted to specify length in the input statement, we write the lengths, correct? In the input statement, we write the length, correct? Yes or no? Input statement name 6 to 20 or else name 18 dot. In input statement, we specified length for variable, correct? We have learned types of input statements, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, apart from that, using length statement also, we can assign length to a variable. So you see, right? So if you just run the program here, so length of the variable name, normally it will take 8 characters. Because you have taken length statement and you define 10 characters, length of the variable name will have 10 characters. You see, right? This is your variable name, it has 10 characters. So using length statement also, we can assign length to your variables. And in set statement also, you can see, right? We can write length statement. So underline this point, this length statement compulsory you have to write before input statement, before set statement. What happens if I write after? If you write after, what happens is length of the variable, length statement will not apply. Default, whatever the length it is there, it will take that length only. Suppose to say if I write my length statement after input statement. So default, it will take 8 characters length only. You see, right? So what is the warning you guys see? Length of the character variable name has already been set. So use length statement as very first step in statement in data step to declare length of a variable. So compulsory you have to write length statement before input statement only. Otherwise, it will take default 8 characters, whatever is given by your input statement. Is that clear, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. So I'll stop this here for today. So tomorrow we will continue. Okay. Right. That's all for today, guys. Thank you. Bye. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, chalo, bye then.